to another installment of the MECCA podcast. Today we're in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're just lucky enough to be around great talent and great trainers. We're going to discuss the culture of basketball training as it relates to many players in America as well as across the world. And then also we're going to discuss about how we can change the current state of training. And I was lucky enough to bring some great trainers here. Many of you guys may know them. I'm going to have them introduce themselves just so I don't mess up. To my immediate right, I have
Cartiea French Toney. Follow me on the gram at Mr. Hotbread.
And to his immediate right, I have
Clint Parks.
And to his immediate right,
Mark Edwards on Twitter. I'm Visionary38. No, I think I'm N Edwards.
Yeah.
B-ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, M Edwards B-ball. And on Instagram, I'm Visionary38. I don't use Instagram much.
We appreciate that, and again, in all sincerity, we appreciate you guys for us stopping by in Atlanta, all of us meeting in Atlanta, and to discuss the current state of basketball training. And before I even jump right in, I want to congratulate all you guys for being a very big time influencers and heavy lifters in the community as far as basketball is concerned. I think that goes underappreciated, and you guys aren't getting the just due that you may deserve. And hopefully, at some point, you guys get to what's needed for you guys to move on to the next level. And I'm saying that as an old head. I'm second oldest here. We're not going to say who's first, Mark. But at any rate, what's wrong with the state of basketball training in your eyes? Clint, let's go right to you directly.
Oof. I don't know if we got enough time to cover all that, but I mean, I think at the bottom of it is just everyone understanding as a whole, like, that it's a simple game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always going to be fundamentals first. And somewhere along the road, I think a lot of people, for probably money reasons,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you get caught up in thinking that you got to follow a certain wave, or YouTube has led people to believe that you got to teach the game a certain way. But if you look back at it, all the best players, even today, going back years, it's all about fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the easiest way to get, for me personally, what I think needs to be changed is just everyone getting back to the basics of the game.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Mark? Being that you're the quote-unquote OG of all of this.
Wow. What's wrong with it is it's a lot. It's more like people are creating something to be entertaining that is not supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be building foundations of basketball and skills and so forth, but they're like skipping the whole skill building thing, and they're jumping right to the top of the pyramid, the crazy moves that a very small percentage of people can do. Like, they're teaching moves that Kyrie Irving is doing, but they can't do a regular crossover. So
Right.
if you look at a pyramid, there's a foundation here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the top, that's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the whole world can do.
Right.
There's moves that nobody else will replicate that Kyrie Irving does. But you have trainers who go online and say, we're going to do the Kyrie Irving shuffle.
Right.
And they're getting love and likes and clients based on, teach me that move.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep it real. We were at the McDonald's scrimmage today, and how many of those kids were able to do those moves
Right.
that they would otherwise do in a high school game where there's maybe only one other Division I player on the court, and they're playing against kids who I call bums.
Right.
And I say the word bums not really in a disrespectful way. You're a bum until you get recognized.
Right.
Because a bum on the street, you'll walk by a bum on the street and you'll pass him and you don't realize that that's a person, that's a human being.
Right.
But a regular person that's dressed fly, whatever, you recognize, oh, I see, buddy. We walk by bums all the time. So when you're a ball player, you start off, you're a bum, you nobody.
Mm-hmm.
People walk by you, they don't think you alive.
Right.
So it's just crazy. The game is, I don't know, it's too flashy, it's not realistic, and guys
Is the game too flashy and not realistic, or the training?
No, the training is too flashy.
Because the game is too simple.
The game is very simple.
Right.
You know, and I tell people all the time, I say, it's not the best ball players that make it. It's the best athletes that play basketball that make it. But being athletic means if I'm just athletic as you, you're not going to do no hocus pocus move on me.
Right.
You got to do something real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really got to run by me. You really got to elevate and pull up and get that shot off over me.
Mm-hmm.
Your reach point can't be here. It's got to be here.
Right.
as French would say, gotta be over your ears or over your
Over your
eyebrow.
eyebrow.
You know
Over
what
your
I'm saying?
eyebrow. That's right.
But that's real. But those are the things that we talk about, that we point out. Like, you guys came to my workout,
Right.
and I sat back and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna let them pick these kids apart,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let y'all see the frustration in. You told them to do something, but you got to keep telling them over and over and over and over to do that same thing. You know, because a lot of these kids aren't ball players; they're kids that play basketball.
Right.
And I love them, but the thing that's wrong with the game is there's so much fluff out here that they don't understand what's real. They don't understand that hard work is real.
Right.
So it's up to us to sometimes have these little podcasts and speak out and give the truth. And I got 25 years in. When I started doing this, people was laughing at me. They was like, yo, why you got all them kids? Why y'all doing drills?
Right.
Like, what y'all doing?
So,
You gotta work on all moves. What you talking about?
so I'm a segue right into French, only because you mentioned the fluff, and I know that he's anti-fluff at times when in his training. You want to speak upon what you see as like a problem in the basketball training world?
I mean, I'm not anti-fluff, but when I first started, I was fluff, because, you know, I was consumed by what I seen on social media, you know. And,
Right.
you know, being young and, you know, being experienced, you try to be trendy.
Right.
You
Right.
try to fit in, and then you realize that none of that shit really matters. Like, if you do what you do and you keep the game simple and you just rep the fundamental shit, then you'll get just as good as the kids who can snatch or who got all the handles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just to me, it's just that it's too much. We're trying to mimic the NBA and with the NBA players instead of just helping kids get successful and get great at whatever they're good at or whatever they need to get better at. Like, master your skill set, master your skills, and become the best version of you and not try to be somebody else.
When the trainers emulate and mimic the NBA players, is that real? And I'm saying it from the standpoint as most of the players that we work with aren't going to the NBA. You know, being honest.
I mean,
maybe a good portion of them may, but in all actually, the top 1% of 1% is going to the league. Are we really setting the kids up for a double snatch between the leg, hocus pocus move, and they're really not going to be able to apply that to the real game?
I mean, no, they're not going to. Most of them aren't going to the NBA. Like, that's just the honest truth. But at the same time, it's like it's the only way that it resonates with the kids is if you say, "Well, such and such did it. You watched the highlight last night because it was all on ESPN." So it's like that's the only way sometimes they get it. So you got to know how to relate to the kids that you're working with.
Okay.
That hurts, though. That hurts the game.
It does.
Because what they don't realize is, and
There's somebody
like
before them.
yeah. But we was watching TV earlier, watching the game, and we're watching James Harden, and he's doing what, the Spanish pick and roll,
Yeah.
what they call it, and he didn't do no move. He just wait and just blow by you, and if you stepped up, he made the pass, and if you didn't, he made the layup. But if another trainer is doing that, they drive in. They stop in, hard punch, what they call it, punch, spin, inverted hip toss. There's no time for that in real basketball. But when you teach it, it looks great in the videos. But it's not realistic. And just like we talked about with the jelly thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was the phenomenon. That was the thing a few years ago. And none of the jelly kids are really able to take what they did in high school and AAU to college. It didn't translate. So every kid was doing jelly.
Right.
Trainers was
Even in
teaching
Atlanta?
jelly.
In Atlanta, in the ATL area?
What?
Everywhere in the country, the jelly fan movement.
That was the biggest movement.
And-
That was
and
like
the
Dipset.
And the reason why I ask is because in New York, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Was it the same in California and the West Coast? Did you hear everyone laying up jelly, jelly, jelly?
All the time, kids missing simple layups because they wanted jelly.
That's crazy. We in New York would not have understood how impactful that movement was.
No
Because
one-
Because everyone behind their head.
yeah,
Jelly
Every
fam,
kid.
I'm jelly fam.
Kids in China was doing jelly.
wow.
There was a time when people were acting like that was better than a dunk.
Yeah, right. Like you got extra points.
Yeah,
was
like
like-
he didn't even want to dunk him. He just
Yeah.
went,
I was like, what? What's going on?
That's crazy. Clint, why are there so many trainers?
I mean, there's a lot of money in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of money in it. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're gonna have money in something it's a profitable industry, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna latch on to it.
Mm-hmm.
and parents are gullible.
What would be one thing that parents should look out for when they're picking a trainer?
Probably just I don't want to say resume, but just like you gotta go and work with somebody and see if it fits you.
Mm-hmm.
And parents, you just like it's good for parents to be involved. Like know who your kids are working with. Like a lot of these parents are, I mean, especially like an old school parent. Like you know what good basketball is,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what bad basketball is. You go to a workout and you see 100 moves. You know that's bad basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You see no footwork, no basic fundamentals being taught. You should know like
That ain't it.
this isn't gonna help my kid make the middle school team or make the high school team. Like so why would I allow my son or my daughter to be taught the game by somebody that's teaching them stuff that's not going to help them get on the court or even progress to where they're trying to get to?
Mm-hmm. The phrase scammer trainer has been running rampant throughout the internet, the Twitter feeds. What's your definition of a scammer trainer?
I mean, somebody that just goes on Instagram and mimics moves basically from people that are unrealistic. Like they're scamming people out of their money. They're running a training service that's non-applicable to game situations.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I mean, Cuffs the Legend was the one who kind of put everybody onto the terminology scammer trainer and
Right.
starting to point it out and everything. You start to look at it. I mean, sometimes it's a joke,
Right.
Sometimes I'm being facetious,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something to laugh at, So for everybody that's training, like it's just a joke. Like it's not as serious. Like do your business, do whatever you do. Like get your money, help your kids, whatever. Like everybody got a role to play.
Mm-hmm. Mark, to piggyback on the scammer training. Hold. Let me ask a question before you jump in. You ready to jump in with both feet?
I got the battery pack.
Let's. What is the funniest or weirdest thing that you've seen in the training profession? Because you're the OG.
But it was just recent. The dude had, the foot in the tire,
Mm-hmm.
and he was dribbling around with the basketball. That had to have gone, that really must have been something big on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for the kid's safety.
Right.
I mean, you could tear ACL, MCL,
Mm-hmm.
doing what he was doing. I was just like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And he was serious. This wasn't like a joke drill. This was like dead ass in the country. I don't know if they had shoes on, but they was dribbling that big ass tire. You should be flipping that tire
Mm-hmm.
instead of dribbling that tire. But I think the thing that bothered me the most was, like Michael Lancaster, I will say this. I like Michael Lancaster for the fact that he was a D3 dude and he said I'm gonna be a trainer and I'm gonna study this game and so on and so forth. But I think once he left Gannon Baker and just went on his own tangent and said, you know what, I'm going to create my own language.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change the name of these moves and I don't call them moves, I call them movements.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna change the name of these movements. And I'm gonna create my own alphabet, basically. What you're saying, my own language, my own everything. So I got this inverted hip flex, spin move, punch, whatever. I'm like, oh, what you talking about? An overhand cross?
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about a spin move? Like, it's like they try to change spin move to something else.
Mm-hmm.
They try to change everything. The problem I have is when you do that, you erase the history of the game, because that between the legs front cross, that killer crossover,
Mm-hmm.
that Texas two-step, that's Tim Hardaway.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Hardaway got those concepts from watching Pearl Washington with his in and out cross. You know what I'm saying? Rod Strickland was the king of that overhand cross, put that shoulder on you and get that action on you.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie does it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie's pops grew up with Rod. That's his godfather. The moves were taught to him organically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you have guys changing the name of the culture, nobody goes on a football field and starts saying, I'm a football trainer now, and this is not a field goal anymore. This is a butt kick.
Mm-hmm.
This is in hockey, they're not changing slap shot to a stick point.
Right.
Why would you do that in basketball? Who asked you to come up with this language? That's cute for you and your friends, but don't go globally and say, hey, this is what it is. Because you have a following and it's influencing people, and those people are making money off it, but you're messing with our culture and our history. The fact that those same people don't know who, guys like Walt Frazier, they don't know Earl of Pearl Monroe.
Right.
They don't know Pearl Washington.
Right.
That's disrespectful.
But you got to consider the people that they're being innovative to were born in the mid '90s.
Okay, so talk to LeBron James,
right?
And he'll tell you
What year is this? This
he'll
is
tell you
2019,
who the top
18,
players
19?
ever were. He'll tell you the best players ever are the ones that studied the game, studied the greats. And LeBron caught flack. If y'all remember this, he caught flack years ago because, and then Charles Barkley was the one I was hating on. I'm gonna call it hate because LeBron said he called ex-players and asked them what they did in certain situations.
Right.
And Barkley was like, oh, what kind of nonsense is that? You think Michael Jordan called somebody for help or whatever? What was wrong with that? Reaching out to your OGs and asking for advice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not going to say basketball is a black sport, but it's not. But we have a very vast history in basketball. And when we change the language, take away the moves from... So now, if somebody changes the sham god, are we going to sit back and allow that too?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. All these moves these guys are doing are moves that were done in the 80s.
Right.
There's no new move. There's no new moves. Because I can pinpoint a move that's being done now and they talking about, oh, this is that new. Nah.
Yeah, because the Euro step was done in the 60s between us.
But the
millions of people, like it was done in the 60s.
The crazy
Elgin
thing
Baylor
about
did it back in the 60s.
Is Sham God, like he'll tell you, like, I didn't necessarily see anybody do this. It's something I created, I came up with. But we're all human beings, so we all have kind of like the same thoughts, the same thought patterns.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. What is it? There's no such thing as a new idea. Somebody's gonna have the same idea, same thought as you, but it's what they take and do with that idea is what makes them that person. You think dude that came up with the iPad was the first person to think, I just want to have a flat computer and I want to be able to do this like a pad.
Mm-hmm.
No, you think? There's nothing new under the sun. So Sham God took it, and it's been a staple in our culture for 2 decades.
So, how do we gain it back, the culture, as far as the naming of the different moves and stuff like that? How do we? Because there seems to be a big contingent that's believing these certain moves, the inverted, whatever the case was.
We speak out.
But then you're a hater, though, Mark.
No, I'm not a hater. I can't hate on something that I love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this culture. I love what this did for me. This culture paid for my houses.
Right.
This culture has taken me through school, taken me around the world, made me millions of dollars. Yes.
But if you say that in a public forum in today's society, you may be deemed as a hater. Am I lying?
You are.
I'm lying?
So everybody, but that's the thing. That's sensitivity. Everybody's
But
sensitive.
they are, though.
Everybody's sensitive.
If we put a tweet out, hold on, Mark. If we put a tweet out right now, whomever blank, you're a scammer trainer, he or she is going to feel a certain kind of way.
But this saying somebody's a scammer trainer to their face or whatever is like, we clown around about it, like we chop it up, but we don't just get out there and be like, yo, we not being demonstrative like that to people. Like I might like
what?
I might go at somebody and be like, yo, why you doing this? Why you doing that?
Right.
Now, if they get defensive and be like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. I look at them like,
but okay,
I've been training longer than you've been alive, so you can't really tell me nothing about basketball.
But they're going to deem you a hater, is what I'm saying. Like, you're hating on their innovation and you're stopping
You can't innovate on something that's already been made. You can't make a new tire.
You can improve upon a tire.
You can improve upon it, but it's still called a tire.
No, it's called a high cross instead of a low cross tire now. Meaning, like they
tire. So we're gonna do the Sham God swirl. We're gonna do the inverted Sham God. It still says Sham God.
What is your thoughts on the changing of the words of the verbiage in basketball training?
I mean, I could never even bring myself to say some of this stuff. ever, just because it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's just like what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, man, I can never. I don't know. Like, I mean, I think like Mark said, it's just like you got to speak out. I mean, we're all being honest. Like that doesn't mean like they're gonna agree with us.
Right.
They can say we're hating or whatever. But one thing I do know for sure is that like we talked about being at the McDonald's game, watching the kids play in the scrimmage today, the practices.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you're able to. Then you're watching like, okay, you've been working on all this stuff. We've been hearing you show trainers been posting videos. Like we're not seeing none of that today.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like all that NBA personnel, they don't want to see that either.
What do they want to see?
They want to see who's fundamental, and then okay, how does your skill set fit within our team?
One dribble pull up, two dribble pull up, one change, get to the basket, take the contact, different finishes.
Jerry West became the
Right.
logo of the NBA because he said, "I mastered the 1 and 2 dribble pull up." That's all he didn't have no crossover.
And shoot the ball.
He had no crossover, no hip toss, no inverted anything. He became the logo. He became the standard of excellence. And how many championships did he win? And he lost mad championship series.
Mm-hmm.
But he became the logo as the standard of excellence because of the way he carried himself and the way he played the game.
Okay.
Simple, efficient.
Older young man, a 40 plus, 30 plus,
And a baby.
in the 20s.
A baby.
So you're the link. You're the missing link. Would you consider the current training as innovative? Hearing and being around older guys, are you guys being innovative? Your era.
Yeah, it's definitely innovative. Like
Okay.
you're definitely trying to do different stuff. Like I would say to keep the
Spice.
not necessarily spice, but like like the kids like it.
Yeah.
For certain people,
Mhm.
it's different strokes for different folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kids like it. It keeps them. What did I say? What's the word? Like like trying to concentrate for so long. Like their interest level. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Goes away so fast, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, to me, like, it is what it is. Like, as long as you're doing the right thing, like, it'll be brought to fruition at a certain point in time.
But they don't know what the right thing is, because they're growing up in an era where everything's innovative.
But if
quote
you tell them
unquote.
it's the wrong thing,
You're
like
hating.
I do.
I mean,
man, you know what you're talking about. You hate me. Like
I mean,
you
at the
said.
same time, like for the people that like come up with terminologies and words, like sometimes it may be good, like and sometimes it may be bad. Like it may be how a certain person learns or whatever. Like it might not be right. They might come across somebody who says something else that's different. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. Like I might get what Mark's saying, like it's hurting the culture, like
Right.
it's hurting the game, but it don't mean it's wrong just because they're saying it in a different way. It's just like math, like different ways to solve the problem, as long as you solve the problem.
At the end of the day, for me, like training is like, does it translate to the game?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like at the core is like, if we're trying to get ready for high school, okay, well, let's get ready so you could be able to be the best player on the team, or you could be productive at the high school level. We're trying to get ready for college. Let's try to be productive at this level.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA, like that's the focus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you turn Kyle Kuzma on, like I don't care about all these dudes because all these dudes that do all these drills and they do all this all summer and they get in the game and they can't get their game off.
Right.
So all you've been working on all summer, looking cute in these workouts. Like, are you training for likes?
Yes.
Are we training to get our game off in the league? Like, because at the end of the day, like, just keep it real. Like, Kuz go get 40 in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Go get 40
Mm-hmm.
in a real NBA game. He got 40 this year.
Right.
With no moves.
There's a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna attack you off a closeout. If you close out short, he's gonna hit the jumper.
Right.
He's gonna run the floor.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He knows his game, and he's able to. He's still adding. You know what I'm saying? He's constantly adding, working on his game, trying to become better with the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pick and roll. He showed like last year at the end of the season when they put the ball in his hands as the primary ball handler. He showed a lot of good stuff in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But these dudes, like it's like the people that are around these players, whether it's high school, college, and NBA, they're feeding them all this stuff. And in the summertime, we're hearing about how great they are. Like that's why I just sit back and I'm like, okay, all summer you look great at the run.
Right.
You look great.
Where they're playing no defense.
You look great at the run. Now you can't even go get 15.
Right.
Because now all you did all summer was work on stuff that your head coach doesn't want to see you do.
So they wasted their time?
So you wasted your whole summer.
Right.
If you guys sit down and you watch the War Room, Andre Iguodala says the same thing. He says a lot of people in the summer, they train for their game. They don't train how their game will help their team, which is what a lot of people don't understand. Is what's your role on this team? How are you going to be good? How are you going to excel? Those are the things you need to work on all summer.
When I train an NBA player, the first thing I do is, and the crazy thing with me is I don't like throwing out names because I think it's corny. Not that what he's saying is corny. Is I've been in the game so long, I'm not gonna throw out a long list of NBA.
But he didn't
players
say
that
who
I've
he
worked
trained.
with.
He just said that young man gets 40.
This is Kyle Kuzma's training. Been with him for a long time. These guys train some guys that are really relevant right now. For me, it's corny to throw out guys' names because I've been in the game so long and I like to be behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like to be behind the scenes because I've lived this life and I've seen. You know what? It all goes back to Suge Knight. You know, when he said with Puffy, all up in the videos and so on and so forth. Like when he puts out videos with Jay McDaniel, he's not in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like when he puts out videos, he's not in the video. He's showing Ben McLemore knocking down the threes on the corner. He's looking at the work they did, and then early in the season when he got his chance, he was doing it. Then they went away from him, whatever.
Right.
But we're not trying to be in front of the camera, in front of the videos and all that. The guys that are doing that 24/7, are you showing who you trying to impress? Like to see trainers play their clients one-on-one and beat them? What does that mean? You got a quick shot off against a dude who don't really respect you like that. Can you do that against NBA players for 40 minutes, for 30 minutes, for 20 minutes? That's what makes a professional. So it's bragging to me. It's like I don't want to brag. I just want to be behind the scenes, doing the work, doing the right work. Guess what? This man deserves so much credit because he's able to have a player like Kyle Kuzma whose game is not supposed to be sexy. And he made it sexy. When he came out as a rookie, I know who he was. And no, the announcers didn't know who he was. There was like, he has an old man game. He's a classic player. And guess what? Games into the summer league, they screaming, Kuz. No, they wasn't doing that for nobody else.
Right.
And guess what? He was doing it without a hezzy, without a spin move. He was coming through with the hook shot.
He was doing a running hook.
You know what I'm saying? They was like, yo, he's bringing it back. You know, he made it sexy again. Fundamental basketball became sexy because, you know what he said? Let's cut off the fat and get right to the meat potatoes. So now there's twofold. One of the things I always tell kids, parents is, it's not my job. My job is not to help you reach your potential. It's not my job. My job is to help you surpass your potential. Reaching your potential in basketball from the amateur level is becoming a starter on a varsity team by your junior, senior year and having a successful, that's it. Going beyond your potential is, I got all conference, player of the year, first team all state, possibly a scholarship. Those are the special kids. Those are because you know, only 1% of these kids get a scholarship. Seniors, 1%. So think about it, that's special.
Right.
So what are we training them for? We training for scholarships. We train them because there's kids in my program that I know might never play college ball, but they want to be good high school players. Their families can write the check for them to go any school in the country. They want to be good high school players. They want this to be a special extracurricular activity that makes them feel good about themselves. There's a lot of young black men out here that, and I think this is true with grown-ups, they don't like the person they see in the mirror every morning. They don't like that person. They're waking up on them, and those are the haters. The ones that are look at somebody really grinding and read like, right now, I'm giving you my truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you my truth. I'm giving you like I cuss parents out if their kids miss workouts. And what the fuck, man? Why you wasn't at workouts?
Right.
Why was your kid at workouts? Oh, he was tired. What? What are you talking about? Yo, lady, you got money to pay for him to go to college? Get him to workouts. What are we telling the kids that we know aren't pros? Or because I had to deal with this. I'm not gonna say what school I sent him to. I'm not gonna say nothing. But I had a kid who had 3 Division I schools, his final 3, right? And they're like, if you go here, you're gonna play more. If you go here, you're gonna play. If you go here, you're not gonna play right away.
Right.
You're gonna get a great education. It's gonna be a great situation. You're gonna get a chance to play possibly after your 4 years to go pro, get in, whatever. But the alumni back is crazy. You'll be able to do internships, all that. What do you think I sent him?
Okay, ask us the question again.
What kind of advice are you giving your kids that are not pros? You know what I'm saying? Do you tell them to go to school where they're gonna play right away, or the school that's gonna help them in the future?
You want that one first?
The future.
That's easy.
But for me, that's a given. The future. But for me, it's like becoming a pro is a process. Like but dominate every level, and then see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't close the book on it or on what could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say it can't happen early. You know what I mean? Let's just like you just said, let's dominate every level, because there's always, you know what I'm saying? Dominate high school. Then you get to college, dominate college. And see where the chips fall. That's what I always tell kids, like, but you gotta be in the now.
Right, I agree.
Be in the now, like everyone's skipping steps. Like, we're seeing that now. Like, kids at the McDonald's game, they're all skipping steps. They all already got their name on an NBA jersey.
And there's GMs there.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So like, you have kids that are already thinking that I've made it, and we talk about this all the time. Like, all the kids that I've trained that are pros since they were young, like, they never played in this McDonald's game.
Right.
So this McDonald's game is like uncharted territory. I'm constantly telling Jaden, like, you don't want to be the kid that plays in this game. Everyone's saying you're gonna make it, and then you don't make it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna name nobody's names, but I know, like, kids that played in this game, they walked around like, oh, like, I'm making it for sure. Like, I'm better than everybody in my city. I'm better than everybody. And now they're watching the kids that I trained. They're watching them in the NBA.
Cliff Alexander was the #1 player in the country. I saw him dominate Ben Simmons his senior year, Ben Simmons' junior year. And, he became a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? And that's the saddest thing in the world, because he had the world in his palm at one point in time. So it's like, if you're not getting the greatest advice, if you're not getting the greatest training, if you don't have somebody that's willing to hold you accountable, if your trainer is not willing to cuss you out, go off on you, and push you to a different level, then he's not the kind of trainer you need. Because remember, there's different types.
Right. So it sounds like, and most of our podcasts seem to have the same message. The adults behind the kid are just as important, or just as detrimental to the kid's success. So, for instance,
it's everything. The circle is everything.
Yeah. Okay. The circle is everything.
The circle is everything, from the trainer to the parents to the coaches. Like,
but
everything.
And each of them checking each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's checks and balances, but everybody has to hold the kids accountable. Like, you got to get the kids the truth, like, so they can't come back to you and say, you wasn't honest with me. You didn't tell me this was gonna happen. Like, you didn't say this was gonna happen. Like,
but is that happening though?
For everybody, no, because a lot of these people don't want to hear the truth. So many people are telling them how good they are, how they're gonna be future pros, they're gonna be this, they're gonna be that. Go get on Instagram and just look at some of the comments that people say to these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're gonna be great. You're the next this. You're the next that. And then somebody tell you ain't that good. Oh, you hating. So now they don't want to work with you, or they don't want to listen because Clint telling him how good he is. So now he don't want to work with me because I told him the truth.
Right.
Or I push him a little bit harder. I make him work harder. It might be a little bit easier to work out with Clint. Like, not to say that's the truth, but, I'm just giving you a scenario, and that's how it is, though. They just run to the next person that's telling them how great they are. And then when they fall off the face of the earth, or they don't pan out, they look back at you and they be like, damn, you was the only one who kept it real with me. Mm-hmm. Like, you was honest. All those people who was around when we was popping bottles and we was in our section, they don't even text me no more. They don't call me no more. Like, they don't answer. Ask all the dudes who played in the NBA, who are out the NBA, who go overseas, how many people hit them up? How many people they talk to? But when they was in the league, can I get tickets?
Right.
What we doing tonight? Where you at? I'm going to pull up on you. Everybody say that, oh, I'm going to pull up on you, bro. Hell, you ain't got no passport.
Right.
You're not pulling out.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, that's how real it is, though. And you can go ask them. All the overseas players, they'll tell you that. Like, it's tough. It's tough. It's a different life. Like, you're out there on your own. But when you was in the league, everybody wanted tickets. Everybody was bro. Everybody was sis.
Right.
everybody was your cousin. We all had cousins.
Right.
You're my cousin. My cousin playing the league.
Speaking of the little bro syndrome, what's your take on the little bro syndrome?
Come take a pic with me, little bro. It's my little bro. Get 1,000 likes on the gram.
To each his own. I mean, you know, I just think like he said, man, like just keep it real with the kids. That's your little bro. Keep it real with him.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it real with him. Like I'm always been. I'm about the process. You know what I'm saying? So like I enjoy like really seeing these kids grow over time. You know what I mean? And take these steps and continue to evolve like on and off the court. You know what I mean? Like it's a full like I know for me and him like it's not just basketball. You know, like this is real life. Like because the ball we all talk about it like the ball is gonna stop bouncing. Like
At
we
some
all
point.
like I said like it stopped for MJ.
Right.
So unfortunately like it's gonna stop at some point. Like no one wants to think about that day coming. So
Right.
it's like if we're not developing the young man, then we're really cheating.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we really are cheating him. And so a lot of this stuff that we're teaching, and I think we can all agree on this, like the work ethic we're pushing these kids to have, like this stuff applies
Life.
when you like to life. You know what I mean? Like so when you finish college, like when you get to school, when you're trying to get that piece of paper, and you're trying to finish your degree, and you're like, oh, I want to get a master's, or I got to go get a job. And now I got to go intern. And I got to look for, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to find a job, like trying to figure out what direction I want to go in. Like you can, I always tell the kids I work with, like you have that work ethic, that foundation is there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what it means to work. All those mornings when we were waking up and I was on you before school, after school,
Right.
on the weekend when you didn't want to hear me. Now apply that same thing to now that next step, that next stage of your life. Getting a job, you know what I mean? Raising a family.
That's real, but to me the little bro syndrome is a facade. Like it's really perception versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
The perception is if I post a picture with you, I really mess with you. But it's as easy as I could have just asked him for a picture when I've seen him, and then whatever my caption may be, it's out for the world to believe. So sometimes it don't even be reality, but to everybody else, it seems like that's what's going on. Like I said, it's in a bad way. Like we brought Jaden down to LA this summer to work out with Coos. I posted a picture, you know, not even on some like, oh, I'm training him, but just on some appreciation for him, showing love and letting Jaden work out with him and giving him free game. And I go home and everybody's like, oh, he trains Coos or he works with Coos. I'm just laughing in my head like, we only worked out twice.
Right.
Like, I have been training him like that, but it makes everybody believe that I've been working with him. And it's such a perception versus reality thing. You laugh at it sometimes because you never know what's really real.
Right.
Like you don't know what's real.
So, do y'all realize that the little bro syndrome is not something that we started in sports? It started in food and beverage. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. You guys have been to classic food spots in every city you've gone to, and you look on the wall and you see pictures of actors and celebrities that ate there. Guess what happened? They came in and they got a celebrity in the corner.
They took a
Picture.
picture. They took a
And
picture.
the celebrities have their pictures with them. Here you go, sign it, put it on the wall. It's
right.
all over LA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got a restaurant that got mad pictures on the wall of all the celebrities ever eaten there. So now this is a spot I have to go to.
Right.
It's a famous spot because these people have eaten here. That's little bro. That dude might have
That's a good
came
one.
there and the food was horrible.
That's a good one.
The food was horrible, but they signed a picture before they ate.
Right.
You came here, you part of us. So these trainers are with Instagram, they're like, you work out LeBron, you know, and okay, I worked him out. I didn't train him. LeBron is a trained thoroughbred already. You're just running him around the track one time. You know what I'm saying? Getting his run. He's a thoroughbred. You're just running around the track.
But that's what should be stated though. Like you should say that. Like, you know, that's the opportunity to work with. Like it's not like I trained him. I got to work with him for a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean,
This past summer I was
that's
able to
very
work.
few people do
Because
that.
it's
Yeah,
like,
but
this is
who's
the
gonna
hot-
do that?
This is the hot already.
I do that. I mean, I did it this summer. I worked with Rondo, who was my favorite point guard for the 3 days in Louisville. I never got on there and said, oh, I trained him. You know, I said I was blessed to work with my favorite point guard ever. I learned a lot from training him, and hopefully he took something from training me.
Right.
Like he obviously came back, so
What were you gonna say?
it wasn't too bad.
I got a theory on that.
This is the hot and ready culture.
Will Caesars.
Caesar,
Hot and ready, baby.
Like, don't nobody want to put no real work in. Like, I'm not saying nobody. Let me take that back.
Right.
I'm not saying nobody wants to put real work in. But I'm saying for the majority, like a lot of people out here, they just want to. You know what I mean? Like I watched him like, and obviously me. This is my right hand. This is my dog. Like this is like I used to work with French.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I used to train him.
You should train me.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's different. Like, but I've watched him work with like Jalen and then Jaden. Like when wasn't no coaches calling, wasn't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like he's been there from here. You know what I mean? And watched them come up and continue. Like you know like so like and that's real training to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that's development. You know what I'm saying? That's real player development. Like riding through those hard times. Like okay, like helping the kid build their skill set. Because obviously it's on the player.
Right.
It's on the player.
At the end of the day, it is.
Like
yep.
People have always come at me like, oh well, you're like no. It's about the player. Like it's about the player. You gotta want to work. You gotta want to put the work in. Obviously, like you gotta have some talent. You have to have something there.
Right.
You know. But then okay. As a trainer, like it's like okay, I'm gonna guide you in the right direction. Like Mark said, I'm gonna help you surpass your potential.
Mm-hmm.
What people are saying, you know, like what's your ceiling? Like okay, this is your ceiling. Like okay, let's smash that.
Right. Let's go through it. Right.
Let's go through that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like let's like that's it's. Are you process like I'm for me? Like I'm process driven. I think we all are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Taking kids that no one's calling. Like for me, the fun part like is like taking kids that no one's calling a pro and like seeing them or get to college and dominate and then get to that highest level and then everyone coming back, circling back, saying, "Oh, I always knew you had it in you." Like I just like sitting back. You know what I mean? Like I always knew you had something great in you. It's like that uncle or that aunt when you graduate college or you're doing good. Like maybe I always saw greatness in you. I was telling your mama that the other day when I seen her. Like man, if you don't knock it off.
Right.
You the same one telling my mom I was a lost cause.
Right.
I don't come here with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it is with a lot of people. Like you see them talk about players like, oh, he can't dribble, or he's an undersized, he's a tweener. You know what I mean? He won't fit at the college level. His game doesn't fit. And then you just watch people circle back, and they're like, oh man, I was wrong. Like, you know what I mean? I was wrong. Like or this kid like that's what it's like. It's about working. You know what I mean? Like people got it twisted. Like just because you got long arms and you look the part, that doesn't mean you got great upside.
Right. At all.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what people. That's what gets coaches fired, GMs fired. You know what I mean? Like you at the end of the day, your work ethic is going to determine your ceiling, your upside. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the core. Like not the core, but like that's like the most important thing is your work ethic.
Yep.
Like how hard are you willing to work to get to where the team thinks that you could be?
In today's game, what is the skill that you think is the most needed?
Shooting. You have to be able to shoot the ball. If you cannot shoot the ball, you can't play at a high level. There's very few guys who are able to dominate the game without being able to shoot the ball. It's hard to find time on the court if you can't shoot the ball. It's not the old NBA where the paint is clogged.
Right.
The court is space. So to be able to play in space, you have to have people that can space the floor. That's the reason why dudes like Kyle Korver have a job at 37 years old.
Right.
Because he can shoot the seams out the ball.
Joe Harris. We can name all the shooters in the NBA.
He was out the league.
He was gone for a little while.
Yeah,
He was a G League.
and
G
you know
League.
what he did? He's like, let me
He
get
defined
stronger.
his game.
Yeah.
Let me get stronger and let me get these jumpers.
He always had game though. Like as a kid,
Gotta make shots.
Yeah.
You gotta make shots. And like he was saying, like there's guys that you could dominate maybe not being a great shooter in the regular season. In the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
becomes a half court game.
Mm-hmm.
So all that, like, if you can't score in the half court, you ain't going very far in the playoffs. And you got to be able to make open shots because everyone's dialed in. You're playing 7-game series.
Right.
Everyone knows what it is.
Right.
And it's
It's money time.
like all these announcers always, like, I always hear Jeff Van Gundy for years. I've heard him say it, make or miss the league.
Make her mislead. Yeah.
that's
Make or miss
all
the
it
league.
is, man.
You know what I'm saying? Is it like nobody cares about how pretty it comes off your hand if it don't go in?
You know, you could kick it as long as it
You know
goes
what I'm
in.
saying? So much of this
You hear
changed.
scouts say that all. He shoots
Yeah.
a pretty ball.
You know
It
what I mean?
leaves his hand so effortless.
No one's going to go
Make shots.
Yeah.
I don't care how you finish it, how you shoot it. Make shots.
What-
Kevin Martin had an ugly jumper. It was a bucket though.
It was a
Oh,
bucket.
he was a walking bucket. Who would you say right now is the best player you've seen in a long time? Like has the complete package. NBA wise.
I'm biased. I'm riding with my guy.
Cools, got it.
I'm going with Kawhi.
Kawhi.
I'm going with Kawhi. Like, riding with my guy. Period.
So let me ask you this question: If that's your guy, do you get upset when the critics, the non-basketball playing critics, or even if those that play basketball, they come at him for certain things that he can't do? Do you take it personal?
No, because I remember he said it like when he was getting ready for the draft when he came out of San Diego State, and he was like, people are always gonna say something about your game, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta keep working. That's what I've always like. For me, like hearing him say that, like I've always held on to that with me. I mean, people are always gonna have something to say about you. You're gonna have people that love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just in life in general. But as a player, like you're gonna have people who love your game.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have people who hate your game. And
But you as a trainer, you don't take it personal?
I mean, sometimes you'd be like, okay, like damn, like they're going at my guy, but it's like okay, like he said, like everyone not gonna love your game.
You
Right.
have to take it personal though.
You
You're
have
not a
to.
human being if you don't take
Yeah,
every single thing that's every
You
single
take it
thing
personal,
that's
but
said,
you don't respond.
You
back.
take
It
it
becomes motivation?
in as motivation.
Motivation,
Yeah.
right, right.
You take it in as, you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not beefing like, oh, I'm about to call you like
Yeah, no.
on some
That-
crazy fanatic, like acting like a crazy fan, like oh, like you came at me, like okay.
We should as skilled developers, we should look more for the critiques than the praise.
Oh,
You have to.
You know what
That's
I'm
how
saying?
you
Because
learn.
what you just said, Kawhi said, you always got to work on your game. So that means if Kawhi had 40, but he missed 5 shots, you're supposed to go back and say, yo,
He's
he
at
missed
5,
that,
yeah.
that, and
Right,
that.
right.
And we talked about that.
See,
And let's work on it right here.
We're supposed to take tests and get 100.
Right.
I hear you.
Not take tests to get 80 or 85. We're supposed to try to get 100. And if we fall short of that, we still got an A or a high B. We still pros.
Right.
But if you fall flat, I didn't try that hard because I've had kids say, a kid was like 9 for 17 in the game. I was like, man, you missed 3 layups by yourself.
Right.
He said, man, I'm not going to make every shot. I'm saying we're supposed to try.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You're supposed to try to make every single shot. Every single shot, that's your responsibility.
Right.
I mean, but a real hooper gonna be like, damn, I left 6 on the board today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I left 6
Every
on the
time.
board. I
Every
had
time.
24.
But is it
Gotta
a
make
kid that
those
plays
3.
basketball
Or
or is it a
kid.
kid that's a
But
ball
he
player?
said a real hooper.
You know what I'm saying?
A real
But
hooper.
that's what I'm saying. That's
He gotta be
there's
like,
two.
damn, I should have had 30 tonight. That's how I used to look at it. Go check the box scores. 27. I was 8 for 11 from the free throw line.
Right.
But peep game. A lot of coaches now get mad at their kids for asking and looking for their box score. And I think that's the most ignorant thing in the world. The game is about statistics. If it was about statistics, take the scoreboard down and just put the clock up there, and then just tell us who won. Y'all calculate it afterwards, like a lottery. The
Wait,
kid asking for his
you
stats
gonna
and
say
they
something.
mad.
So my thing is though,
Uh-huh.
how do you feel about when you're asking for the box score after you lost? Because some people
There's
do that.
twofold. There's twofold. The type of kid that says,
There's the kids
We
who run the
lost.
Instagram. No, we lost. I had 30 though.
Yeah, here put the
Man,
space.
coaches get up at the press conference and
That's-
they got the box score right there with them.
Right.
It's just like, anybody who said like I can't stand when coaches get up there and say the only stat that matters is the win.
but they beat you in the head about your shot attempts and what shot you
Yeah.
made or missed. Like as a real player, I want to. LeBron
Man,
is
like
the
you said,
genius.
home versus guest. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but LeBron,
That's the other stat.
Remember when LeBron,
Who got the most points?
A few months ago, they asked him what happened in a certain segment of the game. And by memory,
You
he
talking
broke
about
down every single play
Exactly.
precisely.
I remember what
He
you're
knew
talking about.
I remember
he
that.
knew how many points were
I
scored.
remember that.
He knew what shot was taken. He knew what movement was done. Everything. That's somebody that studies the box score. He studies the score. He studies like, okay, I missed that shot. I'm like 5 for 11. You know, I should have made that free throw over there. I missed that free throw. I made 2. Like, that's what you're supposed to be as a ball player. Every single thing that goes on in the game, I need to know what's going on. Like, I should have made that 3. We coming down time. LeBron was early in his career. He was never taking a big shot. He was drawing and kicking for a guy to take the big shot. But guess what? Kyle Korver, if he's making $8 million a year just to shoot jumpers, when he comes to practice, all he does is shoot jumpers, I'm supposed to give him that ball. He is a professional. He's one of the best shooters in the world. So why did LeBron get hate for making those passes?
I always wonder that too. Like, even during some of MJ's title runs, you got people making big threes.
He made 2 championships from 2 passes he made.
And no one says anything now.
So you think that LeBron's under a different microscope?
For sure. Like, he's been under one of the most microscopes ever, just because it's such a different era, though. Like, if those people in that time grew up with social media like it is today, I don't know if they would have survived.
Right.
With all the crazy stuff they was doing. Like, you can't even do half the stuff they did now.
Michael Jordan was at
Just because you go out,
allegedly.
Yeah, everywhere you go, there's a camera and somebody's recording it. They see you somewhere, they're recording it. You sit down at a table, have a drink, somebody's recording it. Like,
Remember when Vince Carter didn't go or went to his graduation, got back in time, had enough rest, still put up damn near 40 and missed the last shot.
And they said he was at his graduation.
He should have went to your graduation.
But those were the
you
same
asked
people.
everybody.
But then tell you.
You got to graduate.
Better get your degree.
You got to get your degree. Yeah.
You better get your degree.
Yeah.
So my man said, I put all this work in. I want to hit the ceremony.
Yeah.
And he gave back to his community. If you ever go to his old high school, he built them a brand new facility, brand new gym.
Favorite college player, French?
Juan Dixon.
Juan Dixon. Who you got?
Michael. No.
I'm saying that was
It's I'm gonna say Michael Jordan, but it's close. I got a 3-way tie.
Wait.
Almost.
How you gonna have a 3-way tie on your favorite? But this is college we're referring to.
College. So
Okay.
he grew up in a different era.
No, I mean
Michael Jordan,
okay.
Len Bias, Kenny Anderson.
Who you got?
Those are the 3 I ran home to see.
I don't know. I can't call that right now. I need too much time to think about
I was running home to watch Maryland back-to-back
Juan
years.
Dixon was
cold, man.
Here's the thing, and this
With Lonnie Baxter.
Steve Blake, Chris
this
Wilcox.
is no whatever, but
Chris Wilcox had the braids, right?
Yeah.
we like Juan Dixon is like I can see you playing like him. We ran home to see guys we wanted to emulate. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like guards, a little dude ain't gonna be like, yeah, I like Kareem. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Len Bias because he was just a goon. Michael Jordan because he was an alien. When I saw Mike Jordan, Mike Jordan was weird. Mike Jordan, first person had a wristband on here.
Well, we copied all of that.
All that.
We had the leg brace with the flipped up with the red and the black.
When he was at North Carolina, when they had the old facility, the Carmichael Arena, before they built the Dean Dome, the Carolina, they would run out the locker room straight, and then when they got to the sideline, they would dip and like drop their shoulder and like turn. And he did that one time. I was like, what was that? Like that shit was crazy. I saw them throw him an out of bounds play. He's standing at the top of the key, and the dude, they just threw it up in the air. He jumped up in the air, caught the ball, and kept going and took a jump shot. He was different. And then Kenny Anderson was just perfect. He had no moves. He had the perfect handle, and it was grace. So those 3 guys, the guys I ran home to watch and see. I had to.
Clint?
Bobby Hurley's still seeing him in his.
Yeah, he's still.
What was it?
Arizona State. He coaching, but he still see
He hit him with a whole lot of everything when they
He
played.
invited him to Arizona State to talk. He spoke. He said, "This is the guy that." And the kids are pulling it up on YouTube. They never really seen it. They like, "Damn, coach." He like, "Yeah, this guy here."
Clint, who you got?
Man, I mean, when I was a kid, the team that I really like UCLA. My dad used to take me to games. We used to watch the O'Bannon brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Ed O'Bannon was
that
one of my
94?
favorite.
90,
95.
Baron Davis.
I mean, BD was after.
Mm-hmm.
But like Ed O'Bannon, like that was like that team. Ed O'Bannon, Toby
Sean
Bailey.
Tarver?
That was before.
Yeah.
They had the big. Yep, Cameron Dollar Bill was on that team. George Zedek, Tyus Edney
hit the shot.
Tyus Edney hit the shot.
Hit the shot.
The floater in Boise.
Remember being in the garage? He hit the shot. I'm running around the neighborhood. everybody like, what's wrong with this kid? You know. But like, yeah, those UCLA teams, man, those when Jim Herrick was there. Them boys was
They came
different.
to Seattle. That's when they won the national title in the Kingdom.
Yeah, you're right. Mine
Those things
was
are ingrained.
LJ though.
Those things are ingrained
You
in
can't
y'all.
fuck with LJ.
You know what I'm saying? Those things are ingrained in y'all.
Yeah.
Like you just said, I didn't know where they played at. That's something. And that moment you had, I ran around the neighborhood. And people looked at me like I'm crazy. Those are things that show your love of the game. You know what I'm saying? How many of these young men today are having those same experiences? Are we encouraging
But they don't
them to
watch
have
TV
those
though.
experiences?
They don't watch basketball.
I encourage mine. I say, I'll be like, yo, did you watch? Are you watching March Madness? They be like, like they saw the highlights. They be front.
Right, so they're not watching and learning the game. Like
that's how we learned the game.
They're
though.
not learning the Spanish pick and roll. They're not learning the lift on the
Well, I
hammer
didn't
action.
learn all the terminology though
But you seen the moves.
until I started coaching. When I was playing, like my coaches wasn't giving me terminology. They wasn't giving me language. So I mean, it was kind of foreign. But then once I started coaching, I started training.
But
now
you watched the game though.
Yeah, I started watching it. When I was first training, I just watched the game and watched the game.
Right.
When I started coaching, I started watching the game completely different. Oh, look what they're running right there.
Right.
Oh, that's a cold set.
Right.
And they're actually running shit in the NBA. They're not just playing basketball. Like you see the game so differently. So now you're able to give the players I train and coach the same game. Like, you know, you're giving them from a training aspect and a coaching aspect. So you're getting it from both sides. You're getting trained, and then I'm giving you the coach part because I'm giving you the terminology, the verbiage, the language. So you're winning at the end of the day.
The best.
That's the biggest thing, though.
So now we go back to language. So imagine, like, you know, I didn't know the term Spanish pick and roll. So now, what if somebody's like, yeah, we're going to run the Portuguese pick and roll? You're going to look at them like, what? Like, why you change that, bro?
So, like, if you go back...
I'm being real. Bro, why you change that?
But if you go back and you watch the Spanish national teams, that's how they ran their pick and roll. They put two people in the corner, or they would run some type of actions where they'll get you going side to side and then hit you with the pick and roll, come off, back screen, got the big roll and pop. It's like pick your poison. What you going to do? Because if you drop off the help on the big while the other big's running back, you got the person who set the back screen popping wide open.
The best players in the league, you see these guys on social media, like they're like.
I'm watching hoop right
they
now. I'm watching League Pass.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's guys that you see like that are because if you're if you're in the league, like you seen guys
you get
like
free League Pass though. That's the worst thing.
If you follow guys like you see like okay, some of these guys like they don't really watch basketball, like they play because they're great athletes or they're talented.
I can't
you know what I mean? Like so they're there like, but they don't really love the game. Like, but then like for me like to improve your basketball IQ, like the best way is to watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah, like guys who go NBA players that go to games. I love those guys.
There's some NBA players who don't watch basketball.
Yeah,
there's a lot. It's like a lot of centers.
Just in general,
period.
Guards, players, just players who don't watch games. They don't watch other people play. Like you'll hear some who's like, I don't like to watch basketball outside of like me playing and training.
Right?
Yeah, like,
you guys use analytics?
I'm not a big analytics guy. I'm not. I'm sorry. Like it's a game of feel, in my opinion. Like it's a basketball game. Like if we listen to analytics, everybody be shooting threes or layups. Yeah, the mid-range game is alive and well. The 1-2 pull-up is wide open, but because analytics tells you that it's a better shot and threes are worth more than two,
right?
People settle for more threes than they do twos because they say if we make more threes than you do twos, we're going to win regardless.
Does Kuz use analytics? After every session, you guys pull up your computer and you start breaking down.
I mean, yeah, he might with the team. I mean, I don't. Like, I'm big on feel. Like, you gotta. I mean, those numbers ain't like. I mean, everyone feels differently, but like, the mid range is there. Like, it's there all day. Like, it's there. Like, it's an old school. I always say like a real hooper got a mid range.
Where as a whole do we go from here as far as the coach is concerned, Clint? How do we make it better?
How to make it better?
The training space.
I really don't. That's a hard question. That's like an open-ended question. Like, that's hard. Like, cause everyone's never gonna be on the same page.
Everybody's agenda is different.
Everybody's agenda is different. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to
Everybody's
say, like, what do we
motive
do
is
to get on
different.
the same page, everybody on the same page, and pushing the same thing as a country? Like, it ain't gonna happen.
I spoke to a trainer today at the McDonald's game. He said it can never happen also.
It won't.
right.
That's the truth. It's the honest truth.
So we,
But the problem is that um, we're sitting here and none of us are chasing clout. None of us are chasing likes. None of us are teaching trends. When you started off, you said you started teaching trends. That's a trendy move. That's a dope move. I'm gonna teach that, and then over time, you learn that I need to take the fluff out,
Get the
you know,
bullshit
and
out your
get the
game.
bullshit out your game, and let's be productive. But the problem is in today's society, the kids are entertained by the fluff. And if you don't have the fluff, somewhat of the fluff in the game, you don't get the big crowds and people, lauding you and just loving what you're doing or whatever. So it's double sided. It's a double edged sword. You know what I'm saying?
Because a lot of people think like the fluff is what's gonna bring me the money.
Yeah.
It's what's gonna bring me the clientele. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, should I, even if I think the game should be taught a certain way, should I teach the game this way, but I'm not gonna have the same clientele? Or, you know what I mean? Should I stay true to my core values? Or should I just hop over on the other side and teach the BS and get the money?
I've always felt
so let me ask you this. Hold on, Mark. What made you decide to stay to your core values and keep it the way that you were taught?
Because I respect the game too much. And I can only teach what I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to try to teach something that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, that's the bottom line. Like, this is how I was taught the game. This is how my dad taught me the game. Like, this is how I've always, like, what I've been around. And then you're around, like, when you're around, like, not just say NBA skill development, but people who've done it at a higher level, and just having respect for your OGs, the people who are above you, like, that have been around, like Mark's been around forever, being able to sit back and humble yourself and listen. Like, not trying to, like, it's a respect thing, like, like, we got respect for each other, like, like, he's older than me, obviously, but, like, someone, like, okay, like, not having too much pride to be, like, pick up the phone and call him, like, man, like, what do you think about this? You know, like, not like, oh no, like, nah, I'm not listening to him. Like, I'm not, nah. Like,
I learned from y'all just as much as y'all learn from me because it's always good to keep a fresh perspective out there. And he's training a current star, future possible Hall of Famer. He's got a future possible, a future NBA player, a couple future NBA players and so forth. So I'm still learning from them because the game changes. And if you don't adapt and change with the game, now you're a fossil. Now you're useless. So, like me, I'm not in shape to do all the stuff I used to do. I used to get out there and dance with them or whatever, but I can't do it. But I can tell you what to do. I can walk you through it. I can do the movements. I can do it with the basketball, with the best of them. I can still handle like the best of them. I can still handle the ball and do stuff that NBA guys cannot do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm learning, and I'm humble. That's what it is. It's about humility in this game. And when I see trainers that are not humble, they're not willing to have the conversations. They're not willing to sit down and do a summit. We asked other trainers that were at the McDonald's game, yo, come sit down with us and let's chop it up. They'd rather be back at the hotel chilling and not putting it out there and doing something to push the culture forward. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to do.
No, they'll do it. They just won't do it with us.
But they're pushing their agenda forward.
But why though?
They're not pushing the
Why won't they sit? Why won't they sit down with this type of?
Well, this is real. He got like, we're gonna keep it all the way a buck. Like, he could do it. He got the last time ESPN came out of mock draft, his kid is projected number 1 in the mock draft.
He could be
so smart. Like, he could be somewhere else. He could be walking around big time.
Right.
These trainers ain't developed nobody that's in the game right now.
Right.
If we being honest, like, he could be walking around here high siding everybody.
So why?
I've been with this kid since he was a freshman in high school when he wasn't playing on varsity, when he was riding the bench. We've been working, and now I'm here at the McDonald's game, full circle with him. I'm not walking around high siding. Like, okay, since it's somebody put you on and invited you here, like, okay, that's to each his own. But that doesn't give you like a pass to be like, oh, I'm above because I'm here with the shoe company, or I was sent here. Like, no, he's here. Like, to be real, like, he's here with a kid that he's brought up.
Heavy lifter. He's a heavy lifter.
I sit in the corner and be an anomaly. You probably
don't even know he's in the gym.
So I introduced him today to one of these name trainers, and they didn't know who the hell he was. Am I lying?
Nah, telling the truth. He's like, who? I don't know.
Yeah, who? I would have said who. Yeah. One of the kids that's in the game,
He
actually.
did. He said this. Oh.
He's like, oh. Then
I
again,
sat in the game. I sat in the little corner of the gym by myself.
I introduced him. I said, yo, this is my man. And he said, I said, he got one of them kid number. I forgot his number. He said, oh.
That's his work.
Am I lying?
No, he did.
You know?
His energy and his tone was a lot different after he told him, who I've been working with.
So you're saying that they won't sit down and we have this open conversation where we could just we could bounce philosophies off of one another.
No, but that's how we learn from each other and we grow from each other.
That's how
we're gonna disagree.
Changes. That's the answer right there.
We're gonna disagree and we're gonna agree. But it's just like you having your older brother or sibling. We're gonna knuckle it up. We're gonna shake it up, and it's all gonna be good.
I'm sure that everyone didn't agree with Einstein and his stuff, but they all sat down and respected it. But they're not willing to sit down and.
No one discredits their work, and no one doesn't agree with what they do. They're all doing something well. Obviously, they have clients, they have kids that they work with. Somebody likes it. Different strokes for different folks. Like, everyone's doing a good job with what they do.
If those guys would have came and said, "This is why we do this," I could have a different perspective because, like I said, I'm still trying to learn. Like, why you do this? Why you do that? Why you changing names and stuff? Why you know what I'm saying? Why are you doing that?
So, as an OG, is it your obligation to help the next generation of trainers?
Yes, it's my job to give them the cautionary tales. To tell them beware of parents, because just being real, a lot of parents are bottom feeders. They don't really understand that they're bottom feeders. They feel like they're protecting their kid when they're delving into a space that they've never been in. It's not like these parents go and call other NBA parents. My son is a potential NBA player. Let me call or meet another NBA mom or dad and ask them what their experience is like. Talk to them. Find out, you running something now, but as soon as that kid gets that first check, you know what they're going to say to you? This is my money.
Right, and you can do the same thing for a college player too. So first, a person going to college to find out the problems they're going to face on the collegiate level.
But the problem you have with young men is their assumption is, I'm not going to have that problem when I come here. Just because you're not getting playing time, when I come here, I'm getting playing time. And they don't really understand that, first of all, you're not strong enough.
Right.
You don't know the system. You don't know the culture. You don't know this coach. He's recruiting you to get you here. When you get here, it's a different person.
Yeah.
And this is a grind. So the kids that come in that are humble, those are the kids that are successful. I had a conversation with Devin Booker one time, and I said, when you get to school, the first picture you take on campus needs to be of you in the gym. If you do that, I know you're going to make it. You're going to go all the way. His first picture was in the gym, sitting on the floor next to the shooting machine at Kentucky. One and done. $170 million now. Barely 20 years old. What? I don't know how old. 21?
Just turned 20.
Got $170 million. So he's going to be a guy that's going to possibly get a $300 million contract in the next few years. Who knows? Because he's still a baby.
What's next for training, the training space?
I mean, just to get back in with the youth on ground zero and try to develop players from the bottom and, hopefully get back to this game one day. Like, this is surreal, and it shows that everything can be brought to fruition one day, and it's not just a dream. Like, it's not just hopeful. Like, it's been done before.
How do you combat social media as far as them teaching social media stuff being put out there and giving a bad and wrong message, and you trying to give the correct message?
I'm not combating it. You can teach what you want. We're just going to keep producing at every level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we worried about ours. At the end of the day, we might go back and forth and crack jokes or talk a little mess, like whatever. Some might agree with us, some might get mad, whatever. But we just going to keep doing what we do. Teach the game the way we know how to teach it. Keep getting these young boys better, and we're going to keep reaching out to the people who like Mark, like yourself, that been around the block, and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at the end of the day, it comes back to like, it's like that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents, my grandmother, like, be a sponge, ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like that respect factor. There's people out here that can help you, that Like, he's trying to help us.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who am I to be like, oh no, we good? Like, no, we all learning right now.
Right. Facts.
We all getting better.
Right.
Like, we all here screaming the players need to get better. Like, no, the coaches got to get better. The trainers got to get better too.
Right.
Like, you know, like I feel like I've gotten better. Like, just having this conversation. You know what I'm saying? We taking this knowledge back and pouring it into the kids. Like, I'm a young boy, he here with me. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's 6th grade. Like, that's why he's here with me. Like, he's seeing all this. Like, it's the reason why I want him here. So you can see all this. Go to the Hawks facility. Go to Georgia Tech. Go to the game. Go to the practices. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Like, it's yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not just over here saying, like, oh, it doesn't stop here with Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, oh, we're going to disappear. Like, no.
Trying
Like,
to
no,
bring it back
I respect Ato. Like, Ato's here. Like,
every year.
every year he's here. You know what I'm saying?
He's got one.
Every year he's here. He's here next year. Guarantee you, Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
Every year.
Like, he's back again. Like, so he's been here. Like, they've been doing this, like, year in, year out. Like, so you got to respect that.
And he does development, so it's not just, he's not piggybacking on things.
Yeah.
He has his kids working with trainers year round.
Yeah. So not even just just because you're competing or you guys are competitors or different. That's the part that is like, just because it's this shoe circuit, that shoe circuit, that this trainer, that trainer. Like, you can still have respect for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You can still have respect for good work. Just because we're not cool, like,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, that's part of being a man. Like,
You ain't
you know
gonna
what
like
I'm saying?
everyone.
Yeah, you can like everyone, like, but I respect your work. I respect a lot of dudes' work.
Right.
When we get between those lines, I'm thinking, yeah, my dude's gonna bust your dude's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he gonna bust his ass tonight. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, he got to.
Long night.
We talk about taking it personal.
Yeah.
We have to take it personal. If you don't take it personal, you ain't no real trainer. You're not a skill developer, and you don't care about the culture, because we live in a competitive society. So it's okay to be competitive. It's okay to flip that light switch that says,
And
I'm being
kill.
competitive, and then
Kill.
turn that light switch off when it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking now, we having fun when we're passionate about what we talking about. But, like, we see them people in public, we ain't trying to fight them. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys will talk on Twitter and be like, I'll do this. We're not trying to fight nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just giving a critique. We're saying we like this, we don't like this, whatever, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and people have seen it, I have put out on my Twitter, you are invited to come to my workouts and critique my work.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see me show off and do my work, you're invited to come out and critique my work at any time. And you can put it online, you can do whatever you tell me. I don't care, because guess what? I welcome those critiques because I want to get better as a businessman, you know, and as a trainer. I want to get better. You can't get better if you think your shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? You can't get better. So
we're gonna wrap up the podcast, and we're not gonna call it the MECCA today. We're just gonna call it the Basketball Training Podcast, where we hopefully everyone got better. We have an esteemed trainer in Mark Edwards. We have Clint Parks, and we have my man Hot Bread. He goes about hot bread. We prefer hot bread. And actually, hopefully, we learned something today that we all can come together. But at the end of the day, we got to get our kids better. That's the end. Period. We out.